Hunt with passion. Never stop casting. Chase the dream. Welcome to Season 5 of Musky Mastery Outdoors, brought to you by Bucher Outdoors, #1 in big game fish products, and by Recon Boats, made by craftsmen, built for fishermen.
Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another Musky Quick Tips segment here. The bite's been challenging here in northern Wisconsin this season, and the one lure that's keeping us in the game more so than anything else is the baby ShallowRaider. This started nice and clean this year, and you can tell here it's been getting beat up by these muskies. And today in this video I want to go over what I'm now coining the super hybrid technique. I've showed you guys the hybrid technique that Joe and I have worked on for years. Well, now I'm kind of developing a little bit of a twist on the hybrid technique because I've been really needing to go into super shallow cover to get these muskies out. So therefore I've been kind of fishing what I like to call the super hybrid technique. Now, when would you use the super hybrid technique? When you're fishing super thick weed cover, maybe super thick timber, rocks, whatever it might be. But when you need to keep your minnow bait, like this baby ShallowRaider, up high in the water column, that's when the super hybrid comes into play. Here's what the super hybrid technique is all about. It utilizes some parts of the original hybrid minnow bait technique, and then I'm just including a little bit of a tactic or a trick to keep this lure riding as high as possible and keep those weeds off the lure. So here's what it is. When I cast this baby ShallowRaider out into heavy cover, whatever it might be, okay, I'm gonna start it just like I would the regular hybrid technique, with this lateral, parallel to the water surface wrist twitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever it might be. Then I'm gonna pop it. I'm gonna really pop it with a lot of slack line. Those slack line pops are gonna keep this lure from actually staying down. It's actually going to keep popping that lure, whatever minnow bait you're using, it keeps it up really close to the surface. So I'm doing this. I'm pop, 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 pop. So now I'm gonna show you. So again, this is a combination of two things: wrist twitches and really aggressive high upward pops of the rod tip. So watch this thing now, okay? Cast it out into some thick weed cover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, pop, pop. Okay, now it's up high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then once you're finished with that, you just crank it in and go into a figure 8. Now, this what I'm coining the super hybrid technique here, folks, has less cranking than the original hybrid technique. There's more popping and twitching going on with this for a prolonged period of time. I have found this season that these muskies, this challenging bite we faced, these muskies need more pauses, more hang time. And that's when this super hybrid technique, which is again a combination of two things: violent wrist twitches parallel to the water surface to keep this bait running high, and then these pops and twitches with a rod angle that's upward to keep this lure literally right under the surface. So I'm going to show you again the super hybrid. So here's my parallel twitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it's down a foot or two right there. Now I'm going to pop it back up. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop. Okay, now it's close to the surface, and I'm going to drive it back down a little bit. Now I'm going to bring it back up to the surface with some twitches. Now I'm going to drive it back down. And I mean, when you're doing this, and you're doing it right, the super hybrid allows you to keep these minnow baits, I mean, maybe within 6 inches or so of the water surface. So again, I'll demonstrate once more. Cast it out. And here's the difference now. I'm doing my wrist twitches, and now I'm popping it up, keeping that lure up high in the water column. I mean, it's really high. It's right under the surface. It's right under the surface. A lot of times when I'm doing that popping technique, the minnow bait, if you'll almost break the water surface. So this is an excellent, and of course finished with a quality figure 8. You know, this is an excellent tactic if you are fishing heavy weed cover, or if you're going after muskies that just are, you know, you're nitpicking, you're trying to get fish to strike. The super hybrid technique is a great technique. Now here's one alteration that you might be interested in. If you're fishing really thick cover, I'm talking like super thick cover, well, this is where the super hybrid technique is fantastic. You can start off by walking it here. You can start off with just quick hopping it and popping it until you're clear of whatever, you know, cover you're working. Now you can go back to the routine. I'm going to show you guys once more in full speed here. Here we go. Now again, you can see that tactic is just phenomenal for keeping a minnow bait like the baby ShallowRaider up high in the water column. It's just, again, fantastic for situations where you're in tight cover. So there you go, folks. I may change the name of this technique by the end of the season, but right now, it's the super hybrid. So let me see if I can get my ShallowRaider back up here. There we go. I really hope you've enjoyed this quick tip segment. I hope you guys and gals out there are just hammering good muskies this season. It's been challenging on my end, but we're catching them. It's taken a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of creativity, but we're finding ways to win. We're staying persistent, we're staying positive, and we're triggering strikes. So with that, guys, I can't thank you enough for your support. Thank you to all the viewers, subscribers, to my sponsors. Can't thank you guys enough. So really hope you enjoyed this one, and as always, thanks for watching.